Horser. Thank you for joining us today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm one of the partners at Cornerstone Retirement Partners, and I handle the health insurance side of our business. Today, we will be teaching you how to make my famous Frostbite cookies. For those of you who have been to our office in the past, prior to the pandemic or COVID, you know how delicious these cookies can be and are, and have even asked me for the recipe. The real reason we are meeting today is because Cornerstone Retirement Partners has joined the Alzheimer's Association in its fundraising efforts and raising awareness of the Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is a type of dementia that affects our memory, thinking, and behavior. Symptoms eventually grow severe enough to interfere with our daily tasks. It's a disease that affects everyone, and many of us have friends or family members that have been touched by this disease. So please help us and join in the fight. Sign up today for our 5K walk later this year and help us donate towards a very worthy cause. And every dollar that we collect will count towards Alzheimer's and helping people, coming up with a cure, getting us a better awareness of what's going on. So help us with that today. So for every donation that we have that's $2 or more, we will email to you either a printed or an email version of our office dessert recipe cookbook. And it's awesome, of which the cookies that we're going to be making here is in that same cookbook. So if you have any questions, please be sure to reach out to our team captain. And she's actually with me today, and her name is Elizabeth Byfield. So we're going to go ahead and get started in making this awesome cookie. Now, I will tell you that I am not the original author of the cookie. It actually came off of a very old recipe for the sun-made raisin, because raisins are used in my cookies here. So some of the ingredients have been somewhat prepared in advance, so I will speak to that as we get through here. And we shall start with the fact that these raisins that I spoke of, I've already soaked them. So when you receive the recipe, you will see that you'll want to do this a couple days in advance, taking a small container. We've got 3 tablespoons of orange juice, along with 3/4 cup of raisins. And then I kind of shake them along the way once a day, so on and so forth. But it really soaks up the orange juice and really gives the cookie just a fabulous taste. They're all plumped up, ready to go. So our raisins are there. The next thing that we've done in advance is I've gone ahead and melted or softened the butter that we're going to use. And we've got 1/2 cup of butter. So I have it in my bowl here. And this is my grandma's bowl. And as I mentioned to Elizabeth, this was an email version of our office dessert recipe cookbook. And it's awesome, of which the cookies that we're going to be making here is in that same cookbook. So if you have any questions, please be sure to reach out to our team captain. And she's actually with me today, and her name is Elizabeth Byfield. So we're going to go ahead and get started in making this awesome cookie. Now, I will tell you that I am not the original author of the cookie. It actually came off of a very old recipe for the sun-made raisin, because raisins are used in my cookies here. So some of the ingredients have been somewhat prepared in advance, so I will speak to that as we get through here. And we shall start with the fact that these raisins that I spoke of, I've already soaked them. So when you receive the recipe, you will see that you'll want to do this a couple days in advance, taking a small container. We've got 3 tablespoons of orange juice, along with 3/4 cup of raisins. And then I kind of shake them along the way once a day, so on and so forth. But it really soaks up the orange juice and really gives the cookie just a fabulous taste. They're all plumped up, ready to go. So our raisins are there. The next thing that we've done in advance is I've gone ahead and melted or softened the butter that we're going to use. And we've got 1/2 cup of butter. So I have it in my bowl here. And this is my grandma's bowl. And as I mentioned to Elizabeth, This was a bowl she made her tapioca pudding in. So it really does mean a lot to me. It's just a little memory of my grandma. So I have been making these cookies now since I've been working with my husband and with Nolan at our practice for over 15 years. And this is the bowl that I make these cookies with. So we'll go ahead and get started. But again, I've gone ahead and already melted the butter. So I've got my 1/2 cup butter. So next I'm going to take 3/4 cup of sugar, and I'll measure that out, making sure that I have the right size here for my measuring cups. And then we've got our blender out. So we're going to beat it for a little while and get it all nice and fluffy after I put the egg in there as well. So here's my 1/2 cup of sugar, kind of level it off there at the top. I'm going to put it in my bowl. So there's a 1/2. And now I need a 1/4. So that will be my 3/4 cup of sugar. And I'm just using regular sugar. Nothing special about that. Again, kind of leveling it off there. So I've got it in my bowl. And the recipe will walk you through each and every step here. So we're going to beat that butter and sugar in the bowl until fluffy. So that's where we go next. And you just kind of have to gauge the fluffiness, if you will. So I'm just going to be at it here for a little while. I really don't think you could overheat it. The little noise in the background is telling us that our oven is ready. And I preheated that to 350 degrees. My oven actually undercooked, so I've got it up 10 extra degrees just to make sure the cookies are going to turn out. So I would say we're looking good there. And basically, we just have the sugar and the butter all together there, okay? So next, we're going to add in the egg and the orange peel. Now, I do kind of cheat here, and I have the orange peel that I bought right at the store. Some people will use an orange and actually peel it and dry it out and so on. I guess I kind of take a shortcut here with the actual orange peel. Just a regular egg, could be a large, could be an extra large. It really is not going to make a difference. And of course, try not to put the shell in there. So there's my egg. And next, we're going to put my orange peel, of which I've got 2 teaspoons of grated orange peel. So by measuring 6 spoons here, and again, just kind of keep it level as best you can. If you have it a little more than level, that's fine too.
Does the orange peel add a little spice to it, or is it?
It does. It gives just a little pop with that orange juice and a little bit with the spice, like you say, with the orange peel as well. So we're just blending this all together. And again, just until it's well blended, you can see the orange peel little bits in here of the peel. Okay, that's good. And again, I really don't time anything. You just kind of look at it, make sure that everything is all well blended. So that's the extent of the blending part of it. We're done with this. So we'll kind of set these off to the side. And now we're going to stir in the dry ingredients, which are going to be our 1 cup of flour and our 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So here's my flour. And again, try to level it off. And the ingredients really are pretty basic. There's not a lot of them. It doesn't take you long to kind of put them all together, and you really do get a fabulous cookie. And I will tell you, some people do experiment with the cookie. So meaning that we're going to dip them later on in white chocolate. Some people have suggested that we try dark chocolate. Some people have suggested replace the raisins with something else. So again, you can kind of experiment. We're just showing you our basic recipe, which has really been a hit. So here we go. So we're going to add the flour, and then we've got to make sure that we also add the baking soda, of which we have 1 teaspoon. And here's my 1 teaspoon. Just kind of add it on top there. And then I'm going to take a stirring type of spoon here. I'm going to use my blender here. And I'm just going to gradually put it in here. Now, I've got one other item here that we need to add, and that is going to be our raisins. And we're going to add that at the end. So we're just kind of nicely adding our flour and our baking soda and stirring completely so that everything is thoroughly mixed. So it does get kind of dry, but in a moment we're going to be adding our juice from our raisins and our orange juice. And I will tell you, I would definitely let the raisins plump up for a day or so. And the reason I say that is a lot of the orange juice has been soaked in to the raisin. So if you only do the raisins, you know, a couple hours before you get ready to make the cookies, you're going to end up with a lot more juice in terms of your recipe. And you really don't want that. So give it a couple days. Shake that container a little bit, get it all in there. So this is the last of the flour. And again, really very easy. Nothing too difficult here, just making sure it's well mixed because we are going to put our raisins in last and kind of give it its final mix. So here's our raisins. And it does still have some juice, but not too much. So we're going to put those right in there. And if you want to even take the last of the juice out of it, that's good too. Last little raisin here. So now you got to like raisins, of course, because that's a major portion of the recipe here. So there's that. So last but not least, a good complete stirring of this, and then we're going to put it on our cookie sheet. We know that our oven is ready to go, and we're going to cook anywhere between 10 to 12 minutes at what is generally 350 degrees. Oops, I got one more ingredient that I almost forgot, and that's going to be our oatmeal. So we're almost there, but we've got one more ingredient, and that is our oatmeal. So this is what really makes it healthy. So aside from the chocolate we're going to put on it later, when it comes to health, we're going to use our oatmeal. So we've got 1.5 cups of oatmeal. Now I am actually going to be using the instant, but you can use the regular oatmeal. It will work fine either way. So now it's really going to thicken up a little bit. So here we go with the 1.5 cups of oatmeal. I'm sure none of you have ever forgotten an ingredient. Fortunately, I did not here. So.
Oh, I would have reminded you, Nancy.
Thank you. So there's 1/2 cup. Stirring it good. Turning into more of a cookie kind of batter that we're going to be able to take out of our container or out of our bowl here. And here is 1 cup. We've got one more yet. Just kind of mixing it all up good, using a little bit of muscles here. And one more 1/2 cup, and we're good to go. And then we're going to put it on the cookie sheet. So there's our other half. And we've now mixed our raisins, the orange juice that was left over, that soaking liquid. We've got our oats in here. It was the final step in the baking process. We are going to dip them later in white chocolate. And that really adds a nice sweet touch to them and makes them kind of original. Okay, so kind of set a little bit of this aside, and we've got our cookie sheet. And I happen to use, just to kind of keep things a little bit more uniform, an ice cream scooper, but you use whatever you're most comfortable with, but it gives it just kind of a nice size cookie. So we'll just kind of go over here a little bit so you can kind of see a little bit more. Okay, so here's our cookie sheet. They are going to spread out a little bit on, and my hands are washed and clean, and I just kind of roll that cookie just a little bit into a ball. Again, I just take a little scoop out here, try to be somewhat consistent with their size. I like to give them lots of room so that they can spread out. And I just kind of roll them here a little bit like that. And I would say the consistency is, you know, it's kind of cookie dough, if you will. It's not, it's moist, let's put it that way. It's not dry, but you can still kind of formulate it, put it in a little ball like that.
Oh, and she did spray the pan, grease the pan prior
right.
to putting the cookie dough on.
Thank you. I forgot to mention that. It is an important step so that we don't have them stick to the pan. Okay, and you can kind of experiment a little bit. I don't like my cookies running into one another. And that way, otherwise, I have to kind of cut them apart. So anyway, that's okay. So we'll move this one over here a little bit, give it a little bit more room. And one more. And of course, the number of cookies that you're going to be able to bake ultimately are going to be dependent upon the size of cookie that you want to make. So you'll see in a few minutes what that actually looks like. So I'm just going to quick wipe my hands off and put it in the oven. And then that's going to tell you a little bit more about the Alzheimer's walk and how and why we would love your help. So Beth, I'm going to turn around and cook it here between 10 and 12 minutes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Byfield, the Communications Manager for Cornerstone Retirement Partners. Nancy was happy to help me with getting this video together to show you guys this recipe. As she mentioned in the beginning, we have put together a dessert recipe cookbook. We're asking for $2 a donation to receive this cookbook. All proceeds will be going to the Alzheimer's Association. I just wanted to go over a few quick facts while we're waiting for the cookies to bake. The Alzheimer's Association is a national organization that has been doing research, providing support and care and funding to those in need, whether if they do have Alzheimer's or if you are a caregiver and you need some financial assistance or emotional assistance. This organization has provided multitude of resources. I'm also happy to report they've been in the news most recently because they just developed a new drug that was approved by the FDA. This drug helps inhibit the plaque that forms on our brain that causes this Alzheimer's disease. So it slows the progress of Alzheimer's. This is after many years of research and testing, and they finally have developed this drug, and it is FDA approved. So many patients today will get to start using it, and it's very exciting to have something to help slow that process down. I know this organization's been working really hard towards an answer, and ultimately they want to get a cure. So a couple of quick facts about Alzheimer's disease. More than 6 million Americans are currently living with Alzheimer's. By 2050, this number is projected to rise by nearly 13 million. 13 million Americans are estimated to have Alzheimer's disease. Can you imagine? Is there even enough people to take care of these people? I mean, and that breaks my heart. In the United States, Alzheimer's and dementia deaths have increased by 16% during the pandemic. 1 in 3 seniors die with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia. It kills more than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. Alzheimer's disease is deadly in the fact that, unfortunately, not every person has a caregiver to help take care of them. And they don't know if they have dementia or Alzheimer's, and they don't receive the help that they need. It puts that person in a dangerous position, unfortunately. So it's another reason why we have to raise awareness and have people make sure they get checked and they get the help that they need. In 2021, Alzheimer's and other dementias will cost the nation $355 billion. By 2050, these costs will rise as high as $1.1 trillion. So that's associated with people who all of a sudden they're found in the street, they need help, but they don't have a caregiver. Once again, they don't have an estate plan, so they're assumed by the state, and the state is trying to take care of them with our taxpayer dollars. It's a very unfortunate thing. As I shadowed as an EMT in the past, and I've seen this happen, where these poor people just get lost sometimes and they need help. Once again, the Alzheimer's Association tries to provide those fundings and that help to these people. In 2020, these caregivers provided an estimate of 15 billion hours of care valued at nearly $257 billion. Folks, a lot of these people who are caregivers are family members, spouse, and unfortunately, they don't have the money to hire a professional to help them. They don't have the money for someone to come to their home and assist them. So a lot of these people are doing the work themselves. It's emotionally, financially, and physically draining. And I really feel for these people. And they unfortunately can't do it all the time. So thank goodness for the Alzheimer's Association. Once again, they're here to help with that. They're here to help to provide that service. So that was quite a few facts that I just went over. If you have any questions about the Alzheimer's Association, if you have any questions on how you can get involved, please email me, call our office. We are trying to do a couple fundraising events each month, this being one of them. Once again, we have a recipe cookbook, dessert cookbook that's filled of our staff members' favorite desserts. We have everything from a death by chocolate trifle cake thing to a healthy froyo yogurt cups with fruit in it. So it's not just these high sugary foods. There is healthy recipes in there that anybody can eat. There's a lot of dairy-free options available, some low sugar options available, and the recipes give you directions on how to achieve these alternative options, such as purchasing almond butter. I didn't know that existed. So it is a very versatile recipe book. I definitely recommend it. I think you will enjoy it. Once again, we're only asking for a $2 donation in order for you to receive this recipe book. Please feel free to email me and let me know that you want this, and please join our team. So come October 9th, we will be going downtown Grand Rapids to join the Alzheimer's Association 5K walk. It is going to be a huge event, everybody. I mean, huge. There will be a stage. There will be confetti. There will be flowers. It's going to be like a party. There's going to be a ton of different vendors there offering services. There's going to be food, drinks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. They are also offering an alternative route. So if you're unable to walk the full 5K, there will be a shorter walk available. They were able to partner with an organization to offer one of those electric scooters for those who just simply can't do the walk, but they really want to participate. They want to be part of the group. Absolutely. There are limited number of chairs, mind you, and the Grand Rapids chapter will need to be notified well in advance. So if that's something that you really want to participate in and you're hoping to get one of those chairs, please email me ASAP and I will be sure to reach out to the Alzheimer's Association in Grand Rapids and let them know. We'll try to get that reserved for you. Lots of options. Our staff will be there. We're going to be doing this walk and we're really excited about it. I just published on the website today, we created t-shirts for this event. Our company has donated funds to have these t-shirts created. For every $25 donation, you will receive a t-shirt. We have a variety of sizes. Once again, that was just published today. So I have a variety of sizes as of now, but they are limited. First come, first serve. So if we run out of all of our smalls like we did last year, I'm sorry, folks, but that's it. And then there's going to be, so we have everything from small, medium, large, extra large, and 2XL. So please, once again, contact me if you're interested in that and go ahead and donate to our team page. Now, to donate to the Alzheimer's Association through our fundraising efforts, I did create on our website a link to that page. You can also sign up through our website as well. There's just a simple button away, and then it will walk you through the process. It will take you to the Alzheimer's Association website, where it will, if you want to join our team, it'll ask for your first and last name. It'll ask if you want to make a donation, and you can do that all online. If you do not feel comfortable donating online, there are other options available. You can write a check to the Alzheimer's Association and mail that directly to them. We do have a form that we ask for you to fill out. And at the bottom of the form, it's going to have our team number, our assigned team number, so that the Alzheimer's Association knows, oh, you donated based on our fundraising efforts. Just gives us a little recognition because we're in a fundraising competition. We're so proud of the Grand Rapids area. They're doing such a great job in raising funds right now. And we just want to be part of that commitment. So I talked about a lot of information here. I just want to recap a little bit. So once again, we're hosting this video. Nancy's baking her famous Frostbite cookies. And we're doing this in efforts to raise awareness for the Alzheimer's Association. And we are offering a dessert recipe cookbook. And this dessert recipe cookbook has 21 recipes. There are healthy options available in that cookbook. We're just asking for a $2 donation. I just wanted to recap on that, but I believe that's all I have for now. We will just take a short few-minute break while we're waiting for those cookies to finish up baking. So stay tuned. It shouldn't be too much longer, and Nancy will go through the process and how to dip those cookies in white chocolate. Thank you so much.
Back, we have about another 1 minute and 22 seconds, so it won't be long. And we're also going to invite Ron Corser, the other partner, in a moment, who's going to come up and just give you a little bit of insight into the awesomeness of that cookie as well. So we'll just be a moment. And we do have white chocolate. Yeah, we're just going to probably advance it a little bit, and the cookies themselves do need to cool off for a little bit. So we'll just talk a little bit more about Alzheimer's and other things that are going on in relationship to that. I know last year I walked, and I got to tell you, what was the name of the park? It was Millennium Park. Okay. Yep. And it was a 3-mile walk, as I think it is this year. Mm-hmm. Okay. I never walked 3 miles. Okay. But what was the most, and I did it. And the most amazing thing was I walked with another person who volunteered to walk with our team. And he said the reason he was there was because he had a family member that had Alzheimer's. And he was walking in honor, actually, it was of his mother. And he wanted to be out there to support the Alzheimer's team, the group, And that was his way of demonstrating that. And he told me some wonderful stories about his mom. Okay, so we're going to take it out. And of course, pink is my favorite color, folks, just so you know. So we have these awesome pink. We'll turn this off. We're going to just take a quick look to make sure. Now I'm going to give him just another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll take them out. So I had a wonderful time. Like I say, I had never walked 3 miles before. I got to tell you, I was a little sore the next day, but the time went extremely fast. We had a number of people I had never met before, so it was a great opportunity to meet some new people. And you know, it's kind of neat too when you say, well, why are you here? And then you hear about family member stories. As an organization, Beth and I, Elizabeth, we come in contact on a regular basis with the firm where we work. We do have clients that have dementia and that they have other types of cognitive issues. So we're very familiar with that. And we're very sensitive to that. And again, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to give back to this community and specifically to this particular endeavor. There's a lot of things that are all close and near and dear to our hearts, but in particular, this area is of extreme importance. You know, there's a lot of research out there on cancer, and there needs to be more research in reference to Alzheimer's because it does rob you. It robs the person of the memories, and you know, we have to remember the person the way that they were. And I know I've even read books on, you know, people that have a dementia, Alzheimer's, and how we need to respond to them and try to understand where they're coming from, or if they say something that doesn't make sense, how we could respond back to them. So again, a really near and dear reason for why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, so we're checking on those cookies again. I think they're probably close enough for now, but you want them nice and golden brown. So we're going to set them over here. And actually, I'm going to close that out, which probably needs to be cleaned, folks. But that tells you I do like to bake, and I like to eat them too. So anyway, but I have been bringing these cookies into the office, with the exception of COVID, for the last 14 or 15 years. And I would always make them on the weekend. I would come home after church and make my cookies. And then later in the afternoon, after they've all cooled, because we're going to be able to cool them a little bit, but we don't want to have you wait another 10 or 15 minutes while they're cooling. And then I will dunk them in the chocolate later. So we're going to expedite a little bit of that. But I'm anxious to get back into the groove of making the cookies on a regular basis. So for people that are my clients in terms of health insurance, Medicare primarily, I have promised everybody the cookies are coming back in the fall. So that's during open enrollment for my team. And this is a good opportunity for me to actually get going on that. The reason I say that is when I make the cookies, and you can too, I freeze them. So we're actually going to take one out of the freezer when Ron Corser joins us here in a moment, and we're going to let him tell us how wonderful it is. So let's just let those cool for a brief moment. And I'm going to take one frozen cookie out for Ron. And again, I often do this so that I can bring them into the office on a regular basis. So I just have a nice plastic container for freezing purposes. So whatever works out good for you. But we're going to take a cookie out. Now, the frosting on these are probably not as good as they could be. So let's just leave it with that. But we're going to put that cookie to thaw out just a bit because they're really good, even cold, but you don't want them too cold. Cracked tooth. So let me take this hot cookie sheet out of the way here. Now, the next step, and again, we're going to expedite this because under most circumstances, we would actually cool the cookies completely, okay? So, this is my white chocolate, simply the Toll House Nestle white, Premier white. And according to our recipe here, we need 8 ounces, which is about a cup. So we're going to measure that out. So grab a clean cup here. Generally, you can get 2 batches of the cookies with this. There's about 2 cups in here. So we'll kind of fill them up there, level it out, pour it in. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually microwave them, just a little bit of time. Everybody's microwave is a little bit different, okay? So you're going to have to just kind of experiment. Better to err on the side of not overcooking them, certainly. So we'll see if we can get it right this go round. But again, microwaves are different in terms of wattage and how long, so you might have to experiment with that. You probably could even, with a double boiler, you could probably heat them that way too. But anyway, I've got them in a microwave bowl. I've got my 1 cup, and now I just need 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil. And we're going to put that in here. I'm going to wipe this off here just a little bit. And then it does say microwave chocolate in oil 2 to 4 minutes on low power in a small deep bowl, stirring once. Let stand 2 minutes, and then we're going to stir it, okay? So that's what we're going to do here. And I tend to cook it on definitely the lower power. So there's that. And I'm just going to take my spoon. Oil in there. Okay, so all we simply have were our white chocolate chips, 1 teaspoon of oil. The idea here is we're going to heat it up. We're going to stir it good, and then we're going to dunk the cookie. The idea is to take the cookie, and we're going to fill about half of it with the white chocolate, or a third, whatever you're most comfortable with. But that really gives it that added sweet taste. So here we go. So I'm actually going to do it at 2 minutes, and I'm going to take a look at it before I hit my other 2 minutes. But it's all part of the instructions here. So here we go. Cook time 2. And then my microwave has a cook power, okay? And I'm going to cook power because it's been a little while since I've made them. So I'm going to cook power at something a little bit less than full power. And I'm just going to look at it here just a little bit. Honestly, it has been a little while since.
But once again, folks, the recipe book that we're offering, we're only asking for a $2 donation. I mean, every dollar counts, and small donation like that really does go a long ways.
Okay, we're getting close. So all I'm doing right now is just kind of stirring it and letting it melt, but I definitely have the right combination of how many chips and how long is the key. So it's looking good. There's no doubt about that. It's going to work just fine. So now what I will do is I'm going to show you a little bit of the dipping, and we're going to do that. Now what I do is I do put them in the refrigerator, okay? And then, of course, they can set very nicely in terms of getting cold, and they're really easy to take right off that rack. And then I put them in my container where I can freeze them, and then I can use them for future use. So what you're going to see right now is the dipping, and it's really kind of the fun part of it too. And we'll kind of move everything out of the way here. Set this over here a little bit. Okay. Now, actually, what I am going to do, because it will make it just a little easier, is I am going to put a sheet of wax paper down. This is probably more just a personal thing. It just is a little less cleanup. Otherwise, some of the chocolate kind of drips through the rack and then I have to clean it. So not a big deal, but I just got a piece of wax paper down. And Ron, do you want to dip a cookie? This is Ron Corser. He's the other partner of the firm. We've got Nolan Gosling and Ron Corser. This is my husband.
How are you?
Okay.
I'm Ron. I'm her husband. This is like live here from Granville, Michigan. The lives of the rich and famous and stuff like that.
That's right. I don't know about the rich or famous, but whatever.
I came back from the gym, and I go to the gym for the simple reason that I like to eat these cookies. I want to tell you, they're really good, but here's the most important thing about them. They're empty calories. So if you bake them and eat them, they won't hurt you. Trust me, take it from an expert. These are really good. You just kind of dip them in a little bit of white stuff there and
put them right on the cookie sheet, right?
On a cookie sheet.
Ooh, that's a lot of chocolate, Ron.
They're really, trust me, they're really good. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support for the Alzheimer's Walk, and bless all of you.
Do you want to take a bite out of one? This is one I just took out of the freezer for you.
This is good, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. Okay.
Thanks, Ron.
We're going to go ahead and dip the rest of them for you and kind of come to an end here. So all I'm doing, you can be real pretty about it and just, put a third of it on there. Ron put a whole lot on there. That's fine too. Whatever you're most comfortable with and however much you want to put on. And again, I have had some clients say, why don't you try dark chocolate? Experiment with different things. I haven't had a chance to do that, but I certainly will give it some thought. And as far as dipping it, sometimes you want to just make sure you dip it on both sides. So you've got chocolate on both sides of the cookie. And again, you can see that when I use the ice cream scooper, it kind of keeps it to a nice size. So when you come into the office for an appointment or just coming by to say hello, or for that matter, if you come in and want to make a donation for the cookbook, your cookies will be there waiting for you. So we'll be more than happy to let you try one of these fancy Frostbite cookies. Okay, so I would probably say overall I could make maybe 20, 24 cookies out of the batch that I've got behind me, which I will definitely be doing later tonight. And this is my last cookie, but they look real pretty. Once in a while, I have to whip up a little bit more chocolate. And then I actually have a couple cookies that I'll make for people without chocolate, because not everybody wants chocolate, but they like the concept of the oatmeal and everything else. So here's what we have. So we're simply going to put them in the refrigerator and we're going to let them chill. And then later tonight, I will take them out and then we will freeze them. So for right now, don't take a look at my refrigerator, but we're going to put them in here. And actually, let's just do it this way, Beth. I will find a spot for them. So I think this kind of concludes what we wanted to show people tonight. Yeah. So hopefully this gave you a little better idea of how the cookies are made, because I certainly have had our clients ask about it. The recipe will be available in the recipe book, the dessert for you. And if you do come in, I will make sure that you have a cookie. I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to making a